Live, this is News Channel 8 at 7 on your side.
Roads flooded, roofs torn off, and homes ruined. These are just some of the devastating impacts of Hurricane Helene. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we have team coverage showing you the damage left behind from this terrible Cat 4 storm. At least 7 people have died in the Bay Area due to Hurricane Helene. 2 of those, some coastal neighborhoods in Pinellas experienced 6 feet of storm surge, and because of that, the barrier islands remain closed, inaccessible as emergency crews assess the damage. News Channel 8's Marilyn Parker joins us now live in Madeira Beach. And Marilyn, there is just so much widespread damage there and in other coastal communities.
That's right, the widespread damage right across the bridge behind me. Some people are still making their way over, and if they're not leaving on their own, the sheriff's office is giving them a hand with that. Take a look at this video that we shot in the last hour. The sheriff's office was dropping people off right here in front of the Publix near Dumie Road. They were on the back of trucks, and people grabbed whatever they could from their homes and hopped on out. The buses are still available in some locations, but keep in mind, this is a one-way trip. They have to get everyone off this island. Now, what I will say is officials let us know about 100 pipes are damaged and buried under the sand. They all need repair. They say they're broken private water lines in homes and businesses, and residents who have not evacuated, they still have a chance to, or they'll be escorted out by the sheriff's office. We're hearing from those who's tried to stick it out during the storm.
Shock. Yeah, I'm glad everyone's okay. You know, my family and I and my friends, but it's kind of sad to see all the destruction, you know, a lot of destruction. It's terrible.
Now, the frustration from a lot of those residents started with, they want to be able to go home and they want to be able to protect their things. Well, the sheriff's office says starting right now, 7 o'clock and to 7 in the morning, they're going to be patrolling the barrier islands, making sure no one is out there looting. And also, they will be reevaluating tomorrow. So the chance for the barrier islands to reopen may be sometime tomorrow based on their evaluations. We're live near Madeira Beach tonight. Marilyn Parker, 8 on your side.
Thank you, Marilyn. The storm brought at least 7 feet of storm surge to the South Tampa area. News Channel 8's Ty Russell was there in South Tampa last night. He returned today. And Ty, you've learned it was difficult for many emergency responders, firefighters in particular, to respond to a lot of emergencies because of that storm surge.
Exactly, Jen, and I'm currently in the Beach Park area, and just moments ago, the family here arrived to their home. This is a home that caught fire last night. Neighbors tell me it was because of the flooding fire, and then that fire spread to this home. And I talked to one neighbor who rushed over in the flooded water to try to put these flames out. Cell phone video shows a house fire going up in flames in the Beach Park community in South Tampa. Neighbors say it started after floodwaters impacted an electric vehicle.
I think a Tesla blew up in the garage.
Oh my God.
So we were fighting that fire until about 3 in the morning.
And when you say fighting that fire, what do you mean?
We were down there with garden hoses trying to control it.
Neighbor Dave Kahn battled chest-deep water to try to fight flames since firefighters couldn't access the area. Minutes away, this Tesla caught fire overnight as well. And around the corner, floodwater seeped into this home. And Nicholas Alfonso says it was forceful.
All of that furniture was dumped over because the water was just so high in the house, probably almost 4 feet inside the house.
Jennifer Young and her husband are also cleaning up after water got into their garage overnight.
Like, for example, we already had the refrigerator elevated, but the water got so high that the refrigerator actually tipped over and ended up floating in the garage. Our truck isn't working.
Okay. And now I briefly talked to the homeowner off camera, and she told me this has been just a tough day. We are live in South Tampa. I'm Ty Russell, 8 on your side.
It makes perfect sense, Ty. Our hearts go out to those folks. Not too far from the station, businesses in Davis Islands are cleaning up. Look at this. Storm surge left things overturned, sopping wet, as you can imagine. Our very own Shannon Bankin sent us these photos. She says some of the businesses along the boulevard experienced 3 feet of storm surge flooding. And check out this video sent by a viewer in Apollo Beach. He was on his ATV helping others get to dry land. Hillsborough South County wastewater pump station. Residents west of I-75 and south of the Alafia River are asked to limit their water use as a result of that. Let's bring in meteorologist Rebecca Berry right now. You've warned us for the past week about the storm surge potential that Helene was going to bring. I've covered a lot of hurricanes. I certainly never envisioned anything like this. I think it's even caught some of the meteorologists by surprise just what it looks like.
Absolutely. It's hard to imagine what 4 to 8 feet of storm surge looks like. Now that we have that reference, hopefully moving forward, we'll do a better job of preparing for that. As far as the wind goes, it did exactly what we thought it was going to do as well, with some hurricane force wind gusts along the coast, but tropical storm force wind gusts elsewhere. St. Pete Airport was the highest at 82 miles per hour. A lot of our inland areas got wind gusts in the 50 to mid 60s in terms of miles per hour. And so we didn't see too much tree damage and too much roof damage. It was really the water, and it was record-setting levels of storm surge. And so the old record for right here in Port Tampa Bay was 4.18 feet in 2023, so that was Idalia, and we got 6.83 feet. And so most of the records ran about 2.5 feet above what we saw with previous records, 3 of these from last year with Idalia. And so certainly storm surge making its presence known with this storm across the Bay Area. And we have about 20 more minutes of daylight for cleanup efforts this evening. But the good news is we do expect conditions to be calm overnight tonight. We're not expecting any more rain for the overnight hours. We have some chances for showers over the weekend. Temperatures are of limbs out towards the end of the driveway there. We have calmer winds, so you can go ahead and start the yard cleanup, because we're not going to see any wind gusts that continue to knock anything else down. The temperatures getting comfortable. Tomorrow morning will be even more comfortable than that for cleanup efforts, especially early on. But unfortunately, we have some morning chances for showers, not only on Saturday, but also on Sunday. Sunday will be the drier day of the weekend. We'll take a look at that breakdown hour by hour coming up next.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Farther north along the Nature Coast, the storm surge slammed Cedar Key, where some local businesses still hadn't fully recovered from the last storm. Look at these images. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson shows us the damage. Tampa International Airport is back up and running. News Channel 8's Paulo Suro took this video, and you can see just how crowded it is. TPA grounded all flights early Thursday morning. Airport leaders say there was no major damage to any of its facilities, but before you head out, you should check your flight status. Right now, there are nearly 150 cancellations and more than 130 delays. We just learned the Crystal River Hospital and Emergency Center has reopened. TGH has not reported any major damage to its facilities. Some areas in Citrus County experienced 10 feet of storm surge. Water poured into homes and businesses over sandbags, plywood, and plastic. The sheriff there says water could be an issue in the area for a while. As we've been telling you, Hurricane Helene roared ashore as a Category 4 storm along Florida's Big Bend last night. We understand that maybe as many as 42 people have died across 4 states, millions still without power. Meteorologist Kristen Curry rode out the storm in Tallahassee. She's been assessing the damage there all day. Kristen, how did the Capitol fare?
Jennifer, I can tell you most of this is wind damage that a lot of people here in Tallahassee are trying to clean up and just get around. We even still have, electricity crews driving by, still assessing and getting the power back on. But a lot of what we're seeing here is those downed trees. And unfortunately, earlier today, laying across roadways, closing over 100 roads this morning. But they had crews out here with their chainsaws. You can see a lot of the roadways here in Tampa look like this, that sawdust on the ground, and you can smell it too, the fresh wood. But this is going to be a storm that we're going to be talking about for a while, though we didn't see as much of the wind damage here in Tallahassee as what we were initially thinking. It was still a loud and rowdy night. I caught up with one resident who's lived in Tallahassee for 60 years, and here's what he had to say about last night's storm.
Well, last night was really scary. I mean, we didn't know what was going on. So coming in at night, we're seeing these reports, and of course, until very late in the game, it was coming straight for Tallahassee. So we were very concerned and very worried about that. We've been through a lot of storms here. Like I think I mentioned, I'm from Tallahassee. And if that thing had hit as a Cat 4 straight up Monroe Street, we wouldn't be having this interview right now. The storms are going to come. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get stronger. And we just need to be ready for that.
We do know that most of the state airports have reopened. The local universities, Florida State, Florida A&M, Tallahassee State, are expected to go back to the classroom on Monday as well. And there is, a little bit of that guilt and relief knowing that although we didn't see the worst of the storm here in Tallahassee, there are other parts of the state, like you guys there in Tampa and the Big Bend, that are dealing with some of the most unimaginable conditions with that record-breaking storm surge. So we're going to follow those updates, keep an eye on those for friends and family in the area.
Kristen Curry, live for us in Tallahassee. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. As we go to break, you can send us any videos or pictures of storm damage or flooding. You can send it to WFLA.com/report it. You can also scan the QR code on your screen to reach that link directly.
When Hurricane Helene threatened Tampa Bay, News Channel 8 was on your side.
Storm surge warnings have already been issued.
Chief Meteorologist Jeff Barardelli and the Max Defender 8 weather team kept you safe and prepared.
Now the storm surge is coming.
The winds are really starting to pick
With
up.
live reports from the hardest hit communities across the Bay Area.
Cedar Key will have quite a bit of cleanup to do.
I can verify this is a record.
Nobody covers severe weather better than News Channel 8. Always on your side.
Sadly, some people lost everything to Helene, and now families all across the Bay Area are facing the difficult task of starting over. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur is live for us tonight in Sarasota, where she talked to a couple who is facing that monumental task. And I just look at the images behind you, Georgia, all that water still, my heart breaks for these people.
Jen, I'm actually at the entrance of Siesta Key Beach. As you can see, this water is not even passable. I mean, I'm about 5 feet tall, so I'm almost here to my knees here. I talked to a lot of residents who live on this street here, and they absolutely told me this was by far the worst storm that they have ever experienced living here near this Siesta Key. Even though this road is not passable, as you can see, cars are still trying to get through. Now, I don't recommend this. Just a couple of moments ago, we saw a car stalled out here on this street. We actually saw them as they drive. The waves are actually coming towards us. But, like so many couples you just heard from, they have a lot of stories like here on this street and on Siesta Key. And, we're going to continue to share those stories both on air and online. Reporting live in Siesta Key, I'm Georgia MacArthur, 8 on your side.
Vehicles that drive through that water drive that water up into businesses and homes. The other reason we recommend against that. Dozens of residents are tossing out damaged furniture and belongings while thousands of homes are facing another night without power. We're going to show you more of the recovery efforts along the coast when we come back. Right now, crews are working to restore power to the thousands of homes still in the dark. TECO says about 40,000 customers are without power and more than 100,000 FPL customers don't have electricity, mainly in Manatee and Sarasota counties, but they are working on it. They had hundreds of crews staged and ready to respond. So hang in there. Help is coming.
Yes, it feels like you made the turn when your power comes back on.
Oh, yeah. And we have people that work here that were without power. We were without power last night briefly. So, I mean, it's just part of life in Florida when there's a hurricane.
Unfortunately, we all have an inordinate amount of flashlights.
We do. Lots of flashlights. People will be dealing with this storm aftermath for some time, though.
Yes, they will. The cleanup is going to be gradual. The good news is parts of this weekend will be really good for the cleanup because things like this, trees down blocking neighborhoods, you're going to be hearing the chainsaws early and often this weekend because there's a lot of down trees, especially once you get closer to the coastline and especially in our more rural counties like Citrus and Hernando counties. I know no one wants to talk about the tropics right now, but even though there's a lot going on, there's not much that you even have to worry about. This is what's left of Helene. Then we've got Hurricane Isaac over here. It's a fish storm. We've got Tropical Storm Joyce down here. Also a fish storm. Then we've got an area that we're watching moving off the coastline of Africa with a 30% chance to develop. It too, if it develops, will be a fish storm. So the only thing I'm keeping an eye on at this point is this potential area of development that may enter the Gulf by the end of next week. And so long-term forecast models show a low spinning into the Gulf, possibly closer to Louisiana by about October 5th or 6th. So that's Friday or Saturday of next week. So still too soon to tell if it's going to form or not, but we're keeping an eye on it. And that's the only thing we're really keeping an eye on in the Gulf right now. We've got a beautiful sunset going on, nice and peaceful out there, but it is going to be a really rocky night for those without power because our temperatures are only going to make it down into the upper 70s. Defender 8, so we're going to have the night to continue to dry out and for this to get a little less saturated. It will be a little on the cloudy side overnight tonight, and we can expect very light winds, becoming calm by tomorrow morning. Now, we do wake up to a chance for some isolated showers in our southern counties and then scattered storms by the middle of the day. Let's walk through the timing of the rain so you can plan when to start the yard cleanup and dodge the showers as well. So tonight, it's quiet. Tomorrow, we wake up in the 70s, and we've got chances for showers in Highlands, Hardee, DeSoto counties, maybe Sarasota and Manatee. Those start to move into Pinellas between 11 a.m. and about 1 p.m. Now we've got widespread chances for showers in Pasco, Hernando, Hillsborough, Pinellas counties. So really chances for rain peaking between 1 and 3 p.m. because by 4 the showers are headed east and out of here. So it's your quiet time after 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. About 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when things get really dry. But we wake up to even earlier chances for showers on Saturday. The peak chances for rain Saturday between about 6 and 8 a.m. Then we'll have southern showers lingering while everyone else gets a chance during the afternoon hours to continue to dry out and to continue to clear out. The good news is the only rainy days are this weekend as the tropical moisture lingers. We get really dry by the beginning of next week. 30% chances for rain through Wednesday, up to 40% chances for rain and getting pretty breezy by the end of next week. It does look like we'll pop right back into the 90s as we see those drier chances for rain. That's a look at weather. We'll be right back.
This is like a dream.
Welcome to Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7:30 on News Channel 8. When Congress needs expertise on the impacts of severe weather, they call on Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baradelli. And when you watch News Channel 8, you'll know why. For an accurate forecast that'll keep you safe, trust Jeff Baradelli and the Max Defender 8 team. News Channel 8 at 7 is sponsored by ArmorView Window and Door. Trust the experts at ArmorView, the clearly stronger choice for you.
In Paso Grill Beach, cars actually wound up trapped in the sand. That sand was pushed on shore by the storm surge. This is a viewer pic from CAT. You can see 2 vehicles buried up past the wheels. I mean, this is a beach I go to with my family, so I know that should be parking lot there. That should be where the parking spots line the wall that borders the beach.
It's a lot of displaced sand. I'm wondering how that impacts our beaches moving forward.
We'll be covering this story for a while. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you back here tonight at 11. Be safe and have a good night.